Hello everyone and welcome to today's video where we'll be discussing about statutory or audit or internal audit, which is better. So if you have worked in any of the profiles from our top 20 firm and you have a fair understanding of any of them, then I think so you are the best person to decide which is better. However, if you are someone who has not worked in any of the profile or the level of understanding which you have received is not that great, then I hope this video will guide you. So first, let's understand that what is the objective of a statutory auditor and the objective of an internal auditor. So the objective of a statutory auditor is more taking assurance of the financial statements, whether the financial statements are giving a true and fair view or not. Whereas when it comes to internal auditor, the objective is more that whether there are proper controls in place so that it safeguards the assets of the company. Now when you have understood the objectives of both the parties, so understand that how is a statutory auditor looking at things and how different the internal auditor are looking at things. So let us take an example of purchases. When a purchases is appearing in the face of a financial statement, the statutory auditor, as he has to comment on the true and fair view of the same, he is more concerned whether the purchases have actually happened and at the rates which it is showing in the books. However, when it comes to internal auditor is more concerned about the processes relating to the purchases, whether the purchase was actually required to be made. Was the rate in which the purchases have been made was the best available bid? Whether the GRA and gate entry and other things have been made properly relating to same so that the purchases are disclosed properly in the system. You have understood the difference between the two. I hope you are understanding that internal auditors have a lot of aspects of giving value addition to the management and to the business of the organization compared to a stat auditor who is majorly concerned in taking assurance of the financial statements so that he can comment on the financial statement whether the financial statements are giving a true and fair view. After listening to my side of looking at things, you might have an opinion that it sounds that internal audit is more better and we should go for internal audit. But had I been in your place and if I had no idea that what a statutory auditor does and no idea that what an internal auditor does, then I would have chosen statutory auditor. And now this is the main part of the video, that why I am choosing statutory audit over internal audit, considering me that I do not have any idea about things. Two reasons of choosing statutory audit over internal audit. The first one will be guidance. When we are a fresher, we require a little bit of hand holding because we are not aware of things. Now in today's date, I see that neither statutory audit nor internal audit people are getting guidance. However, I feel that in statutory audit you will get a comparatively more guidance because it is more deadline based and target based, because you know limited reviews needs to be conducted within 45 days of the quarter, and your manager and your partner are both accountable for the work which they are doing. So there is a more chance of your work getting reviewed quick, and if your work is getting reviewed, you will have suggestions and improvements where you can work upon and where you can learn. The same also happens in internal audit. I'm not complaining, but internal audit is something which can continue till 2 months, 3 months, and after one fine day your manager or partner will come and sit with the review. First 2 months he did not tell you anything, and then he will say like, you have not done this, you have not done that. So the deadlines in which you are working in statutory audit are more stringent, and the partners are accountable for the signing of the audit report and the limited review reports which they are giving to you. You get a better opportunity to get guided. Also, the working papers which are maintained in statutory audit are more compared to what I have seen and observed in internal audit. So even if people are not there to guide you much, you can have reference to the working papers which have been maintained in the organization, and can understand that how do you proceed with the audit. Second thing which I will like to highlight is switching from statutory audit to internal audit and vice versa. The switching from statutory to internal is relatively easier than compared to internal to statutory, because in internal audit what is required is your ability to think as an auditor, which you get developed during your statutory audit. Even you have right now, because of internal financial controls and IFC over financial reporting compliances, you have also an exposure to RCM and internal control testing. So you have already an flavor of internal audit, a little bit flavor of internal audit. Secondly, you also have a look at the internal audit report while completing your audit, so you get an idea that what is the thought process of an internal auditor and how he taking and seeing things. Also in statutory audit you have a lot of exposure to standards of auditing, Indian Ind AS, taxes, tax laws, because when you are also doing tax audit and other laws as well, and application of them, which you lose somewhere down the line touch while you are doing internal audit, because you are more into processes and more into logical thinking and identifying process gaps and all. So that's why it is very difficult from internal audit to switch to statutory audit, but it is relatively easier as you have the flavor, you have a knowledge of the thought process, how the people are thinking, what observations they are bringing to table. So it is more easier. So that is also a factor which needs to be considered. And these are the broad main reasons which I feel that why I will go for statutory audit. Grass always looks greener on the other side, and to keep ourselves open to the other side of the grass, I have chosen to start with statutory audit and to then gradually move to internal if I'm not liking it. However, please do understand that it's not that it is very difficult to move from internal to stat, but yes, it is relatively difficult. Also understand that this video has been created only with the perspective that if you are getting right now two choices, stat or internal, which one to be, to guide you to which one to be you choose. There might be other career aspirations you have, like you want to go to investment banking, private equity, equity research, FDD, or a lot of profiles, but you might not be getting that, and it's okay. We have to start from somewhere, and this is my thought process of how you should think and start. If you have a different opinion that no, I think so I should start with internal audit because I think so I like that mode, please go ahead with that, because the objective is not that what is the right and what is the wrong choice. The objective is was to make this video to make you understand that how I think and what is the logic behind how I think. I hope I was able to communicate that to you, and I will make future videos. Please do like, share, subscribe the channel, and thank you for watching.